Class 11th, subject physics, 5th chapter, gravitation. From this chapter, let us see universal law of gravitation. Universal law of gravitation, that is the law of gravitation which is granted by the whole universe. Newton studied the motion of the moon around the earth. He observed that moon completes one revolution around the earth in 27.3 days, and therefore period of revolution of the moon around the earth is equal to 27.3 days. Similarly, he observed that the distance between the moon and the earth is equal to 3.85 into 10 raised to 5 kilometer. That is, the radius of orbit of the moon r around the earth is equal to 3.85 into 10 raised to 5 kilometer. Now, the moon revolves in circular orbit around the earth. That is, moon is performing circular orbit around the earth with constant angular velocity omega. So omega will represent the constant angular velocity of the moon around the earth. As moon performs circular motion, as moon is performing circular motion around the earth, therefore it must be acted upon by a force which is directed towards the center of the earth. That is, that force acting on the moon will be directed towards the center of the earth, and hence it is called as centripetal force. Therefore, as the moon is performing circular motion around the earth, therefore it is acted upon by the centripetal force, that is the force which is acting along the radius of the circular path, and it is directed towards the center of the circular path. That force is called as centripetal force, and this centripetal force acting on the moon is given by the formula F is equal to mr omega square, where m is the mass of the moon, r is the radius of orbit of the moon, and omega will be its constant angular speed. Let it be equation number 1. Now, according to Newton's second law of motion, the force acting on the moon F is equal to ma. F is equal to ma, equation number 2. Equation 1 gives force acting on the moon. Second equation also gives the force acting on the moon, and therefore comparing equation 1 and 2, we can write mr omega square must be equal to ma. That is, mr omega square equal to ma. Will get cancelled, and therefore acceleration a will be equal to r omega square. A is equal to r omega square. This acceleration is the centripetal acceleration or radial acceleration. A is equal to r omega square. But the angular velocity omega, and the period of revolution t are related by the relation omega equal to 2 pi upon t. Omega equal to 2 pi by t, and therefore the acceleration a in terms of period will be written as a is equal to r into omega square, that is 2 pi by t whole square, equation number 3. So this equation represents the acceleration, that is radial or centripetal acceleration a. Now, putting the values of r and t, so these values of t as well as r we know, and therefore putting these values of r and t, we will get a equal to value of r, that is 3.85 into 10 raised to 5, it is in terms of kilometer, will be converted into meter by multiplying it by 10 raised to 3 and into 4 pi square, that is 2 pi square, that is 4 pi square, divided by period t, that is 27.3. It is in terms of days, it will be converted in terms of second by multiplying by it by 24 into 60 into 60, and therefore acceleration A will be equal to 3.85 into 10 raised to 5 into 10 raised to 3 into 4 pi square divided by 27.3 into 24 into 60 into 60. Now calculating this, we will get A is equal to 0.0027 meter per second square. This will be the acceleration of the moon around the earth. Now, as the value of acceleration due to gravity due to the earth, g is equal to 9.8 meter per second square. As g is equal to 9.8 meter per second square, therefore we can take the ratio of the acceleration of the earth and the acceleration of the moon. So as this is the value of acceleration due to gravity due to the earth on the surface of the earth, that is g equal to 9.8, therefore acceleration of earth divided by acceleration of moon, a earth upon a moon, will be equal to 9.8 meter per second square divided by 0.0027 meter per second square. Then its value comes out to be 3600 as equation number 4. So this equation will give us the ratio of acceleration of earth to the acceleration of moon, and its value comes out to be 3600. Now if you consider the distance of the moon from the earth's surface and distance of any object from the earth's surface which is present on the earth's surface, if you take the ratio of these two, then the distance of the moon from the earth's surface divided by distance of the object from the earth's surface. So if any object is present on the earth's surface, then this will be calculated as 3.85 into 10 raised to 5 kilometer, 3.85 into 10 raised to 5 kilometer divided by, this will be the radius of the earth, that is 6378 kilometer. So if you calculate its ratio, then it comes out to be 60 as equation number 5. So if you compare equation number 4 and equation number 5, then this equation 4 gives the ratio of a earth to a moon, that is the ratio of acceleration of the earth and the moon, it is 3600. And if you find out the ratio of the distances of the moon from the earth's surface and any object from the earth's surface, its value is equal to 60. If you take the square of this ratio of the distances, that is 60 square, it comes out to be 3600. That is, square of this ratio of the distances is equal to the ratio of the acceleration of the earth to the moon. And therefore from equation 4 and 5, from these two equations we can write a earth upon a moon will be equal to distance of the moon from the surface of the earth divided by distance of the object from the surface of the earth, and that comes out which square will be there. That is, a earth upon a moon will be equal to distance of moon divided by distance of object from the earth's surface, its square. And therefore we can say that from this it will be concluded that the acceleration of any object towards the earth is inversely proportional to square of distance of the object from the center of the earth. From this equation we can conclude that the acceleration of any object towards the earth is inversely proportional to the square of distance of the object from the center of the earth. That means we can write acceleration A is proportional to 1 by r square. Acceleration is proportional to 1 by r square, and therefore as F is equal to ma, according to Newton's second law of motion, as F is equal to ma, we can also say that F is proportional to m by r square. This F will be proportional to m by r square because A is proportional to 1 by r square, and therefore F is proportional to m by r square, and Fe, that is force acting on the earth, will be proportional to capital M by r square, where capital M will represent mass of the earth. So this will be the force acting on the moon and this or any object, and this will be the force acting on the earth, that is M by r square. Therefore, if we consider these relations, then from these relations the force exerted by the earth on the object of mass m is equal to, or it is proportional to m by r square, and this will be the force acting on the earth. And therefore combining these equations we can write, so if we combine these equations, that is the force acting on the object of mass m and the force acting on the earth, if we combine them, then we will get the next equation, that is F proportional to mm by r square. That is according to Newton's third law of motion, which gives the action reaction force. So according to Newton's third law of motion, the force acting on a body by the earth is equal to the force acting on the earth by the object. The force acting on a body by the earth will be equal to the force acting on the earth by the object, and hence the force F is also proportional to mass of the earth. And hence Newton concluded that the gravitational force between the earth and the object of mass small m will be given by the formula F proportional to mm by r square. And therefore we can write as F is proportional to mm by r square, therefore further it will be written as F is proportional to m1 m2 by r square, therefore F will be equal to g into m1 m2 by r square for the two masses m1 and m2. That will be equal to g into fr square upon m1 m2. And therefore we can say that the every particle of matter, as F is proportional to mm by r square or m1 m2 by r square, therefore from these equations we can say that every particle of matter attracts every other particle of matter with a force which is directly proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to square of distance between them, which is considered as the universal law of gravitation. So let us see again the statement of this law. Every particle of matter attracts every other particle of matter with a force which is directly proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to square of distance between them. As this law is applicable to all the material bodies in the universe, it is known as universal law of gravitation. And therefore, if you consider instead of the any object and the earth, if you consider two bodies having their masses m1 and m2 separated by this distance r21, that is distance of this second mass from the first mass is equal to r21, and r1 and r2 represents their position vectors. At that time, when these two masses m1 and m2 are present in the space, at that time we can write F proportional to, that is gravitational force between these two masses m1 and m2 is proportional to product of their masses m1 m2, and it will be inversely proportional to square of distance between them, that is r square. That means in this case, if you consider two masses m1 and m2 separated by distance r, then the gravitational force between them is given by the formula F proportional to m1 m2 by r square, or it will be written as F is equal to g, that is the constant of gravitation or constant of proportionality g m1 m2 by r square, and from this constant of gravitation g will be equal to F into r square upon m1 m2. In this case, capital G is called as universal gravitational constant, whose value is given as G is equal to 6.67 into 10 raised to minus 11 Newton meter square per kilogram square. G is having its value 6.67 into 10 raised to minus 11 Newton meter square per kilogram square. Now, if we find out the dimensions of this gravitational constant G, then it comes out to be 3 in length, minus 1 in mass, and minus 2 in time. So these are the dimensions of gravitational constant, that is 3 in length, minus 1 in mass, and minus 2 in time. The gravitational force is an attractive force, that is the gravitational force is present between the two bodies which will attract the two bodies, and hence gravitational force is an attractive force, and it acts along the line joining the two bodies. This gravitational force will act along the line joining the two bodies. The forces exerted by the two bodies on each other, the forces which are exerted by the bodies on each other have same magnitude, that is force exerted by m1 on m2 or by m2 on m1. These two forces are having same magnitude but opposite directions, and hence they will form an action reaction pair. The force acting by m1 on m2 or the force acting by m2 on m1 will form the action reaction pair.